What's up, nerds? Welcome to this, our breakdown of the very first episode of Marvel's animated Disney Plus series, What If? That's you have to say it that way. All right. The kickoff episode had to do with what if instead of Steve Rogers getting the super soldier serum, Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum. Great premise.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Oh, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a great idea. The idea that one thing I did like about the way the series goes, it kept very much in line with how the first Avenger went down. And then when it gets to the part where, you know, if we just coming off the series Loki, where you realize that just one small thing that a person does causes a variant timeline to be able to be created, that the watcher actually narrates the moment you should be looking for that changes everything up.
Right. And can I just say Jeffrey Wright as the voice of the Watcher, chef's kiss.
I
Perfect.
do think I thought his voice was actually really good, but I think that there's something about voiceovers like where it's a ambient being kind of thing where I just naturally think of Morgan Freeman's voice.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a huge fan of his voice as the Watcher. Um, and I'm hoping that we get to hear him narrate many, many, many episodes because I'm all about this series. After that first episode, I'm sold.
Yeah, it was so good.
What was your favorite thing about this episode?
The art, I thought
Yeah.
the animation was absolutely amazing. The thing about it was that you could have no idea who was in the movie, or the I guess the TV show, and you still can, like, they showed, I don't know the actor's name, but they showed, the Tommy Lee Jones version was in the first Avenger, but obviously things churned for the worse for him in this scenario, and they used the gentleman that he's from West Wing. I know that for sure. But was in the short for Iron Man 3, where Peggy Carter has her little one off. And he ends up taking over that role. And I didn't know he was in it, but the second I heard his voice, I knew who he was. And then I look at the animation, I was like, "That's him!" Like that's the reason why I think that they're at such a level with the art that you can consider this to be, MCU canon, and actually see the real characters show up in live action, because they look just like who they would look like if they're real.
Right. And I think that it was a huge uh, value add to have the original voice actors reprising their roles. It made it feel more legit. Hearing Chris Evans as Steve, and
But what would I tell? What if I was to tell you that wasn't Chris Evans?
what if I didn't believe you? Who was it?
It was a voice actor.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever. He was a little anyway. Well, they got a really good one. Well,
Yeah, I mean, he
Haley,
sounded dead on like him.
yeah, Haley Atwell was there, right?
Yeah.
And Sebastian Stan.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. Well, I
And
missed
they
one.
brought back Aaron from The Walking Dead for the Red Skull, who
Yes.
still sounds dead on like the guy.
Right.
Which I thought was kind of funny. They used the face of the original actor, but then had a voiceover actor that sounds just like him,
Yeah.
for the role.
Right. Um, it definitely felt very legit.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like, oh, we're just going to capitalize on the popularity of the MCU by making an animated series.
Yeah.
It was like, we're going to make this, real stuff. And, we had the um the ending of the episode. Of course, we, got lots of action of Peggy being Captain Carter, and the ending, there was a giant hentai creature
Yeah.
that
Which I can't think of the creature's name. Maybe we can put it in the narrative below. But supposedly that tentacle monster is going to end up as one of the big bads in Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. So a lot of people might have thought that it was a Hydra what's called squid or whatever, but they have three heads. This one only had just the multiple arms. But I thought that the idea, because basically what it is that in the first Avenger he loses Bucky. In this variant, Bucky survives. In this variant, Peggy becomes the super soldier when Steve is shot and isn't able to take over the role, and he kind of becomes an Iron Man, maybe like a prototype for Iron Man because of it. And it's this idea that, where Steve was used as a propaganda machine until he decided that he wasn't going to do that anymore. She is, the idea that she's a woman who can't, be out on the battlefield, and then till she takes it into her own hands that she's going to go ahead and overthrow the Third Reich. And I just thought it was great, and then there's still some subtle hints, throughout it. I'm guessing that maybe we're going to get out of this the Captain Britain Corp being created out of it. There's been a lot of rumors that Haley Atwell, I'm not sure if I said her name correctly, but it is what it is. You already know that's about me. That she will be coming back in a live action, Captain Carter role. So it would be great to see her, with Broderick and
Right.
both Brodericks.
Right. So yeah, we know we're going to see the Black Knight coming up in the Eternals, and he's oftentimes seen with Captain Britain, aka Billy Braddock. Matt, I can't remember.
Brad, isn't it Brad?
Brad Braddock. His last name is Brad.
Broderick. Brad
Whatever.
Broderick. I don't know.
Captain Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The ending of the show, of course, and spoilers if you haven't seen it, is very reminiscent of the beginnings of the Avengers, because we see Captain Carter pop out of the little portal that she pushed the tentacle monster into, and she pops out to see who, Jerry?
Samuel L. Jackson and Clint, So we had Steve, Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury. We've seen in the original Avengers, first Avenger movie, Steve plunges into the ice, and this idea, she ends up plunging through basically the Tesseract or into the multiverse and disappears, and pops out 70 years later. From what we can tell, it looks like the scene in Avengers where Loki comes out and Nick Fury says, "Drop the spear." It's the same exact scene, but this time it's Captain Carter coming through, and he's telling her to drop the sword. And I think the sword is kind of important too. Originally in the comics, the first person to come up with the idea of the multiverse is Merlin, and which obviously we know it has a big idea about Excalibur, the sword, which also has a big thing with the Britain Corp. And then also they have a thing with the Captain Britain's the Sword of Might, and so the idea that she kind of pulled the sword from behind the shields, kind of like pulling the sword from the stone, and took her role. So
definitely, and we're going to be getting some more interesting sorts of turns in the next couple episodes. We're going to see T'Challa as Star-Lord, and we're supposed to see something with Doctor Strange. I'm not sure how they're going to twist Doctor Strange around. I know Spider-Man wears the cape at some point as
he's like a spider sorcerer, and then there's supposed to be an evil Doctor Strange, and I think the next episode is I think it is the T'Challa one, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and of course that one a lot of us are looking forward to. It's the last official appearance of Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa in his animated form this time. One has to wonder how they're going to continue spinning people from this series kind of into this sort of multiverse situation that we saw at the end of episode 1. My prediction, are you ready? I think we get Yondu back live action through that episode.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that something happens where each of them end up, ending up in that same universe, in that 2012 universe with Samuel L. Jackson. Because I mean, I don't understand any other reason why they would have dropped her into that little spot. And a lot of people have this idea that maybe Ultron is the big bad of this series, but we'll see. All I know is that I thought that they did a great job summing up a 2-hour movie in 30 minutes. The art was on point the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, it's obviously going to be, more in the realm of a little kid or a children-based cartoon, but it's definitely for adults also. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I would say that it's probably on par content-wise with the MCU films. It's not it's a cartoon, but it's not made for kids. But I think it's probably fairly safe for kids for the most part. Really enjoyable. I
Yeah.
really liked it a lot.
And then, you have the idea that from what they said is that Chadwick Boseman didn't only just do the voice of Star-Lord, that he voiced several different versions of T'Challa. So who knows how many times he may appear in the series itself.
Right.
So,
Right.
and how you can explain maybe something happens within this verse is the reason why he's not in the multiverse or into the MCU that we all know, especially things that are not, we don't know what's going on with the character. But I just think that it's going to be, this gives a really good way for them to introduce a lot of characters that they don't have time to do a backstory in a movie, introduce them this way, and then we already know what's going on.
Definitely. What'd you think, nerds? How was What If? Did you enjoy the animation? Did you enjoy the storyline? Do you like this kind of alternative universe that's getting built? Will it tie in? Let us know what you think down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on social media at We Them Nerds. Jerry, anything else for the good of the order, my friend?
Yeah, just remember, like, subscribe, and comment below for a chance to win this Shang-Chi Funko Pop.
There it is. All right, guys. Be good. Be good to each other.
Stay nerdy.
Later, nerds.